stay right
Okay.
there. Let me get a shot for the thumbnail.
Okay.
So if you want to do any antics for the thumbnail, that's
What do I need to do?
like if you want to.
Oh,
You-
no, I cannot do
no,
that.
that's not your vibe. That's not your vibe.
No,
Okay, well,
I can do my hair a bit bigger.
But you look straight into the camera. Okay, that's good. Okay, perfect.
Yep. And do I look at you or at the camera?
You look at me.
Okay.
All right. Good day. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Coco.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm alright, thank you.
All right, nice. So today I'm gonna be interviewing you to see what you have to say about your journey, your creative journey, about your photography journey, and I hope that everyone would be interested in to hear your magnificent story. So,
Okay, let's go.
so let's start it off. Where are you from? Where you originate from?
So I'm Dutch Nigerian,
Mhm.
and I was born here in the Netherlands. And I've now been living in Amsterdam for like 17 years.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I guess this is my home now.
Yeah, I've been immersed in the Dutch culture for a while. So tell me something about the Nigerian culture, like where you grew up.
Okay, so I grew up here, right?
Oh, you grew up here. Okay.
Yeah, here in the
you grew up
Netherlands.
here. But I'm assuming you know about the Nigerian.
Mhm.
Yeah. So share some of that with me. What's it like?
Okay. Well, I guess. Well, when you say you're Nigerian, people always respond. I don't know, like sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a bad way. So I think Nigerians, we have quite a reputation. We're very visible and very, I want to say loud, but also confident people and
Expressive.
expressive. That's the word, expressive, and we love to work hard and play hard.
All right, perfect. And when did photography first enter your chain of thought? Like when did you start thinking about photography?
Already when I was young, like around 14, when I got someone gifted me a digital camera, but this was in the time when a digital camera was 1.3 megapixels,
Yeah.
super slow. So you press the button, you wait, and then you take your shot. It was a very slow camera, but I started photographing myself, and this was before there was selfie, and I was photographing my friends, and we would go to these abandoned buildings, photographing graffiti and graffiti walls and reflection in the water, and I was trying to be artistic, I guess.
Yeah.
So I did that. That's how it started, just for fun. Yeah.
And where was this? Where did you?
Where I grew up, which is in the east side of the Netherlands.
I'm not too familiar with it.
Yeah, well,
What's
that's
it called?
okay. It's called Zutphen. It's a beautiful little city.
Yeah, and what made you migrate more to the west?
To Amsterdam? Well, my family was already here, so my sisters lived here, so it was kind of a, no-brainer. But also, love brought me to Amsterdam. Yeah.
Was there a specific moment in you taking pictures where you thought, maybe I could do this professionally? When was that aha moment?
Yeah, that took a long time because, so first, when I was taking all these photos, I thought, okay, I want to go to art school. But, so I applied for art school, even though, and this is a thing that I talk about when I'm mentoring my mentees, like when your parents don't agree with you going to art school, it's kind of hard to, an African parent, you're like, I want to take photos, I want to make movies. Like, you want to do what? So, yeah, I think a lot of people can recognize that.
Yeah.
But I applied for art school anyway, and but got rejected. And I made this photo series about my sisters, because you had to apply with a photo series. So I made a photo series about my sisters, where we are doing our hair, not braiding, like, how do you call that? Like, we were making our hair straight because that was 2009. That's what we did.
Permit, I think it's called.
Yeah. But also going to the market, going to the hair shop. So now we would translate that into this series was about identity, about sisterhood, about your cultural background. But back in 2009, we weren't using those words. So I guess for the commission who had to like look at my work, maybe it was just pictures of my sisters. So yeah, I got rejected, and later I also applied for another art school for film. So I kind of felt like, the arts is not for me or people like me, or so, and that was very difficult for me because it made me very insecure. So then I studied human geography and urban planning, but I was still photographing because I'm also very dyslexic, so my brain just enjoys images more than words. Same for you, yeah. So I've always continued photographing, and but still I didn't know that I could be a photographer as a
profession.
As a profession.
But when did you take it seriously? When did you say, okay, this is what I'm gonna do? And
well, this took another like 5 years before I took myself serious. I started working in the photography museum here in Amsterdam, and I was in a group with other young people who came from art academy. So I really felt like very different from them because, people from art academy, they can be like, I don't know, free and a bit crazy. And I was more like a little bit more serious, I think. So again, I felt like, this art world is, I don't really fit in this art world. But then I started working in advertising, and it's actually there that other people, so people who were like my mentors, saw me as a photographer. And I think I needed that kind of validation from people from the industry to also see myself as a photographer, because all till then I was always saying I take photos. So now when I'm teaching my mentees, the first thing that you have to do in class is say out loud, I'm a photographer. Not like I take pictures. Yeah, also, but you're also a photographer. So yeah, I use my own journey in my teaching. Yeah.
And let's go back a bit. I know we were talking about, you made mention of like, how do you explain to your parents this is what you want to do? This is one of my biggest hurdles that you get over in the creative field. Like, how do you explain to someone looking at this video why they should choose the arts? I know that's a very loaded question, but
Again, so how do I explain to a parent?
Yeah, well, not a parent, anyone looking at this video, how would you explain to them why they should choose the arts,
Or why they should choose
the arts.
Okay. Well,
Why did you choose it?
So I think, well, I don't, like, this might sound like cliche, but I don't think I necessarily chose to work in arts. It kind of chose me because I love images, I love visuals, I love photography, and that is in the art scene. But I think why, if that's what you want, and even though, for example, your parents or your environment doesn't really support it, I still think you should do it. But what is very important is not just the arts, but also how you make the connection with running a business. Because I think that's where parents most of the time are worried about, like, how are you going to make money with taking photos? And I'm not saying it's easy, sometimes I think online it can look like, photographers, filmmakers, they're doing this and then they're traveling and And sometimes I wonder, like, but are they also paying rent and taxes and all this? Because life is like, at least life in Amsterdam, it's so expensive. So I think the two, at least for me, the two go together. Yes, you're making art and images, and I love photography, but I can only do that when I know how to also run that as a business. So I think that's what is really important, that you can do both of that. You can do both of it. I'm not necessarily a very good business person, but I'm trying. Because otherwise it just ends with a hobby, which is also nice. But yeah.
And we spoke about your early stages of photography and how you did it more just as a fun thing. How has it changed now that you're in the industry?
It changed. I think it changed a lot, unfortunately, because before I had my camera always with me, and maybe when you don't have all the responsibilities yet that come with life, you can just play around. But when it becomes your work, it means that you have to deliver to someone else who is paying you. And if you're lucky, you're doing a project that you like and that you enjoy. But at the end of the day, you need to deliver what you agreed on. So there will always be some kind of pressure. So this is actually something that I also want to change now that we just started the new year. I want to give myself time to, use my camera, do photography without anyone asking or without anyone paying me. I mean, they can pay me if you want, but like have no say in how I do it. To make free work, personal work, because that's how it started. But then when it becomes your business, the rules of the game are a bit different. So I think it's important to give yourself that space to and time to create freely.
And as a creative myself, I know it's sometimes hard to balance your creative energy and still trying to, make it something that is good enough for your clients. How do you balance that?
Yeah, I think it depends on the project. I'm still learning now that if I get a job, it's not a one way. Like, okay, yeah, I'm happy that you trust me to do the job, but at the same time, I also need to check if I want to work with you, if we're a match. And I think it's sometimes still a bit scary, because as a freelancer, when you get a job, like, yes, I'll take it. We need to keep the business running. So I have to check myself if this project, how can I put something of me in this project? So I'm not just doing what someone is telling me, like, oh, make this photo and this photo, but that there's actually something from Coco in that project. What was your question again?
No, I was asking. How do you balance?
Yeah, how do you balance? So I think, how I balance it is that even my commissioned work is, it's not the same as free personal work, but I do try to shape it as much as I can, that I can work the way I want. So
make it comfortable for you.
And this is something that is not easy, because you have to tell your client, like, thank you so much for this opportunity. This is how I work.
Correct.
Correct. And that is not easy to say, because sometimes we're already happy that, oh, okay, I got a job. Let's do what they want. But they ask you for a reason. So that's where you need to be confident that they're not just asking for someone who can press the button of the camera. They're asking also for your vision,
your expertise.
So this is something I'm trying and learning and getting better at it. And then also sometimes you find out that the project doesn't really fit in the way I work. For example, I work in a way that I need a lot of time. Like, I want to know who I'm photographing. I want to have time to like chit chat, make the person feel comfortable. If I have to do a project where there's zero time, like you show up on set and you have like this short amount of time, then it doesn't really align with my work method or work, the way I flow, the way I do my work the best. So I think that's something I need to remind myself every time. Like, tell the client, this is how I work.
Yeah.
Do you still want it?
Yeah, yeah. What's your ideal situation? Because you made mention of, getting to know them. So what's your ideal
Yeah.
situation?
My ideal situation is a commercial project. I'm gonna be honest, that's because then I can pay my rent. But still being completely free in how you want to approach the project. And also not with a big crew, but just one assistant and one talent, or whoever how many people the talents are. And I did this. I have an example of one of my favorite projects, and this was for Philips. I was traveling to Switzerland and Italy, and I had to photograph real people in their favorite nature environment. So it was just me and my assistant and the talent, and then we are outside the whole day and we're photographing, having fun, having a drink, having lunch together somewhere on a mountaintop, and that's what I like. Like nobody is.
That's a dream.
Yeah, and I don't have a shot list or anything. It's just creating all together.
Yeah.
The talent maybe has ideas. Let's do this. Let's do this. My assistant has ideas. So that's what I like the most. Yeah.
And I'm assuming that, well, not assuming, every journey has their troubles and their trials and their tribulations. Can you share any challenges that you have faced on your journey to where you are now?
Yeah, Texas, definitely number one. What happened with me is, first my business was, you have some gigs here and there, so your admin is not too crazy. But once, in my case, it shifted quite in a very short time. Like I had a lot of jobs, so there was a lot of admin also, but my skills weren't there yet to really know how to deal with that admin. So that's also what I tell my students is from the moment you start, make sure that you keep a clear overview, and if you don't know how to do it, then you have to hire someone to do it for you. Because, and I'm saying this because your photography, if you want to keep doing your creative work, then that side of the thing needs to be, it needs to be, it cannot be too much of a stress thing for you, because it will get in the way. So I think I wasn't, I never went to art school. I also never went to business school. So you learn as you go. And then you also make mistakes here and there. And another thing that is a challenge is if you create a lot of work, then these are very practical things, but you have so many files. You need to make sure your files are all sorted. So when a client asks like, "Oh, remember back in 2015 you did this and this? Can I get it?" Then so you can say, "Oh yeah," and you can send it to them. So those are things that I'm both, now I am better at, but those were like big challenges.
Is any of your challenge related to like client opinionated, or was that a smooth transition?
No, I mean sometimes it happens that you do a job and the client is like, "Oh, this is not." You mean like if everybody's happy? No, it happens, and that's super awkward and difficult. And I think a really big challenge is to stay confident and believe that you're a photographer, because sometimes when I haven't done like for example now I haven't done free work, like personal work, in a long time. So sometimes I feel like, am I still a photographer? Because what am I gonna make if nobody's watching? So I guess the challenge is insecurities. Now through social media you can see everybody rise and shine, other photographers, and I think that's also why I like to meet other photographers. So it's not just an online thing, but that we can actually connect in real life, because then I don't know, it kind of changes the whole game. It's like, oh, okay, you're doing this. Okay, maybe I can help you with this, or you can help me with this. So, yeah, I think connecting with other people in the industry is really important, and it can be a challenge when photography can sometimes be very lonely.
Yeah. Is there any jobs that you are particularly proud of, or is a very headline of your career?
Yes, I think the work I did for Klabu, it's an NGO. They build sports clubs in refugee camps in different countries, and I've been working with them since 2018. And I think that those projects, that's where a lot of things that I enjoy come together. So you need to have a lot of social skills, because you can't just, you're working with all different kind of people, different kind of backgrounds, religion, language. You need to understand how you want to use your camera. Like, you can't just walk into a refugee camp and start photographing. Yeah, you need to understand the culture within that place, the sensitivity, the respect. And I've noticed that through traveling and interest in other cultures, when I'm in places like that, I can find a lot of connections. Like, oh, you eat this kind of food, we eat it this way. Or sometimes I'm wearing my Nigerian jersey, which also is a conversation starter. Or music, for example. So yeah, your personality is more important than the camera that you bring. And yeah, in sensitive places like that, I really enjoy to create with the people there together. So they have their own ideas how they want to be photographed. So there's so many layers that come together in those projects.
Yeah, in the field. And you spoke about you did work with Philip.
Yeah, Philip.
Philip, that's if I'm correct, that's the TV company that they make TVs.
Electronics. Yeah, but they also do. They also have machines in the hospital and stuff. They have basically everything. Probably these balls, these light bulbs.
Okay. Any other big brands that someone
that I worked for?
Yeah, I think when we were working together, you worked with Nike.
Yeah, I worked with Nike too, and Adidas, and Airbnb. Yeah.
Can I get access to these photos, because I want to put them in the...
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And I know that you grew up in a very art-rich culture, the Dutch culture and everything. Is there any art movements or any themes that influence the way you take photography? Any artists?
I don't think so, because I never how do I say this? I just started taking photos, so I wasn't I want to work in the art world or art industry. So still today, the whole industry is kind of doesn't necessarily feels like my backyard, you know. So I don't know if that influenced me, because I don't really know what that is. I think more my personal interest is affects how, or has an impact on how I photograph and who I photograph. Yeah.
And you spoke about your students, so you teach photography.
Yeah. So I'm actually teaching. So sometimes I give lectures at the art school that rejected me. So then I share I share the photo series that I made back in 2009. I shared with the students, and then we have a conversation about who decides what story gets access to art schools. And I'm not saying that series that I made was the best. But it is interesting to, have a conversation about who decides and what kind of stories get space. But I also mentor. For example, I used to do it at the Meervaart and at the Melkweg. We just finished a series at the Melkweg here in Amsterdam. and then I mentor young photographers for like half a year, and I guide them towards their first exhibition.
Okay. And that's in Amsterdam, of course. And you
Yeah.
also spoke about the workshops that you do. So that's included in.
Yeah. And now I want to take it up a level because we're now in my studio, and I want to organize these mentorship programs also here, but also invite other people from the industry, like for example someone who can teach us about your rights in photography, or how you can print, or how you can frame, or how to do your admin, or light workshops. So there's so many aspects of photography that I want to learn and share with other photographers. So that's in the making, to have my own mentorship program here.
So how would you describe your creative process? You go out, you take your camera.
Yeah. Wow. My creative process, I think I always just start with the person that I photograph. So
Okay.
I'm very much, it's more of a, it's more like I respond to the person with my camera. So I don't necessarily come with like, oh, this is how I'm going to photograph you. Because maybe when you're super grumpy or something, then the whole vibe is different. So I think my photography is always a response, or like a back and forth between me and the person I photograph. It depends. If it's commissioned work, then I make mood boards, so at least me and the client have the same idea about what kind of direction we want to go to. But I always feel like when I'm actually photographing, that is kind of like out the window, and
exactly.
and I just look where the light is, and this can be in a corner somewhere that you would never think that is like, oh, a very nice place to photograph, but I guess my eyes are just always focused on light and shadow and lines.
So it's more of a tuition thing, intuition thing, that you see it more than. And is there, well, for me personally, when I'm filming someone, it's better for me to know them so that it's more of a social capturing from the camera. I think that's, so you get to know them. Is that also part of your process?
Yeah. While I'm photographing, I'm talking to the person. It's very more like meeting someone and taking photos in between, instead of we're doing a shoot now from 1 to 5. And of course, it kind of depends on the project, but that's how I ideally like to work. To just, work in the moment.
And I studied branding quite a bit when I was doing my bachelor's degree. So I have to ask this question: What's one of those photo series that brands who Coco is? What's one of those projects that you say that this is my brand?
Yeah, this is my brand.
What represents Coco?
Wow.
The project that you did, that you mentioned, that you had to travel, maybe.
Yeah, I think definitely the projects I did with Klabu, that where I photographed in the refugee camps, did really sort of put a stamp on my
image.
style.
Your image.
Yeah.
And how was it in terms of connect? Well, you said that you connected with them and it was seamless. And was the project enjoyable in a way that you connected like culturally or socially?
Yeah. On many levels, but it's not all like fun, and it's also a very serious place, and you learn a lot of things, and sometimes you make mistakes. I remember the first time I went to a refugee camp in Kenya, and I thought that I prepared myself. I did a lot of research online, and then when I was there, I took a photo and I was looking at this photo and I was like, yeah, this is exactly the photo I do not want to make. You know, kids with flies in their eyes, like, you know, sand in their hair and broken clothes. And even though that was also a reality, that's not the only reality that there is. Because I also met people that, you know, I met this group of guys and they dressed like actual hipsters. You know, they were wearing their grandfather's jackets and blazers and, you know, high socks and stuff. And I remember thinking like, oh wow, they're like so stylish. And then I thought, yeah, but why not? Just because you're in this situation doesn't mean you don't care anymore about how you look. So I think, yeah, on so many levels, I learned things that, I use in my practice. Yeah.
The project that you mentioned about going to the camp, not in Kenya, the other one, what is it called, Kabu?
The Klabu, that's the name of the organization.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the if you can share this, of course. What was why did you need to? What's the job of going to take photos?
Yeah. So they Klabu builds sports clubs in refugee camps, and then because sports, when you do sports, you know, you can sort of like let your brain rest for a bit, because most people are under very stressful circumstances. So they provide sports outfits and balls and stuff. And then they asked me to photograph the sport club that they built, and the stories of the people that are part of that are running the sports clubs.
And would you say that was your most meaningful collaboration?
Yeah, definitely.
In terms of also the story that it tells, and you know.
Yeah.
All right. And does this collaboration also shift your perspective in any way, in a photographic way?
Yeah, I think.
You spoke briefly about the ethics of your photography. Like, you don't want to take pictures of certain things, and you know. So I guess that also shifts your perspective in your future work.
Yeah, like I think every image that you make will has an impact on how people look at the people that are in the photo.
In the photo, yeah.
So when I did an exhibition with the work that I photographed in Kenya, someone said like, yeah, I like the photos, but I think it's a little bit too glamorous because they are still refugees. And I was like, this is interesting, because why can someone who lives in a refugee camp not be glamorous?
Correct.
Right? So yeah, it wasn't necessarily, I didn't know that I would learn these things or have like all these ideas about the importance of an image, but I learned that through those projects in the different camps. Yeah.
All right. And when do you think that photography has? When would you say that you think that it became a medium where, you know, you want to? This is what you want to do for the rest of your life, or do you want to do it for the rest of your life?
Good question. It's kind of I don't know when I thought like this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, but I do remember when I was in Nigeria and I went to Lagos Fashion Week, and I was photographing there, and the whole venue was with a white backdrop and then the green letters from Heineken, because Heineken was sponsoring it, and there were a lot of photographers. But everybody was making the same photo because everybody had that same backdrop and the same green letters. So I thought, okay, let me just walk around a bit, like go to the parking lot. And I saw two girls there. They were still like dressing up, and I asked if I could photograph them. And I remember when I took that photo and I looked at the photo, and that's when I thought, yes, now I know why I am a photographer, because these are my people, and I was so overwhelmed by their beauty and their confidence, and in that moment it made sense for me, like, I want to use my camera to capture this.
Yeah, on a
Yeah.
philosophical level, what do you want people to feel or question, or how do you want them to interact with your work?
I want people to be challenged in the maybe the social constructs that we have. So next to that, I hope that people. I mean, I don't think I necessarily want people to like it as in, oh, it's beautiful, but I want to maybe. Yeah, I would like it if they're a bit surprised, or that they're like, oh, I didn't know, for example, with the projects that I did in the refugee camp, like, oh, I didn't know, because I heard people say this, I didn't know refugee could look like this, because they have a certain idea of what it looks like, what someone looks like. But then if you Google the word refugee, then you'll see images. But when you see, I think my images don't really, they show a different side.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying that, it has both realities exist, but I decided to focus on that side, how they see themselves. So I think there's. I hope that people are being challenged in the way they think about other people.
And I know you spoke about some of your future projects, but moving forward, what's in the future for Coco?
So I have this event that I organize. It's called the Photography Book Club, and it started with inviting some friends and family to my studio, and I brought all the photography books that I had, because I was spending all my money on photography books. I couldn't eat like normal food, but I had the most beautiful books, and I wanted to share that with other people, because otherwise it's just in your house, and I'm the only one who sees it. So, and this evolved into an actual event that I host like 4 times a year. So what is next is that I want to do the photography book club in different cities like Lagos, Abidjan, Accra, London, Paris.
Okay.
So that is in the making. And the concept is very simple. It's just photography books, tea, some music, and you can just grab a book and sit somewhere and just. So there's not a presentation or anything. It's just for inspiration. And then for myself as a photographer, I want to do my first personal project in Nigeria about the Yoruba culture. So that's gonna be finally my passion project. So yeah.
I'll ask one last question. What is the most important lesson you have learned in your photography journey?
The most important lesson I've learned is let me think how I say this.
Has it anything to do with your creativity?
Yeah, I think for the longest time I felt like I wasn't a photographer because I didn't go to art school, and I didn't have like the hard skills. I had more like the soft skills. And now it's the soft skills that give me confidence, right? So I think to translate that into a lesson is, to not doubt yourself. Not doubt yourself too much. Yeah.
All right, Coco, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, hold.